Yep. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know how you could have missed it, but maybe you don't pay attention to anything. You just turn on the radio on, which is fine. In one of the darkest days, I would say, since Pete Rose was banned from baseball, an explosive story broke. The Astros, who had been to 2 World Series, have been caught red-handed in a franchise-wide cheating saga. This is I'm not dealing in hyperbole. There's a report from Ken Rosenthal and someone, here's the amazing part of this, someone that I used to work with when I did the stuff in Boston radio on the other station, Evan Drellick, who's now working at The Athletic. He's the one that had a lot of this, and Rosenthal was with him. They have pulled the scab off of this scandal. This is unbelievable. This should be all 4 hours. It won't be, but it should be all 4 hours. Now, the Astros, it's behind a paywall. The story is behind a paywall, but I read it. So the Astros, I have access. The Astros used a center field camera to help steal signs during the 2017 championship season. We know on this show they didn't actually win the championship, and now we have verification. But Major League Baseball has very strict rules against using advanced technology for an advantage, and they've opened up an investigation. Now, the Astros, who initially had no comment, which is a step in the right direction from when their GM had his little faux pas, and they said, oh, no, the report's bogus, and turned out the report wasn't bogus. The Astros have released a statement hours after the story came out, a prepared statement, and it's what you would expect a prepared statement to say. The Astros confirmed that Major League Baseball has begun an investigation. Think about this. They've admitted now baseball is investigating their franchise, the Astros, being dirty. They've admitted it. They've admitted it. All right? And, of course, then they went on with the standard. It would be it would not be appropriate to comment further at this time. Bold statement. All right, let us discuss what is the fallout from the Astros being outed. I loved it. I loved it. All right, I've got Mustangs, Snowden, and the Barracuda. All right, Mustang, Snowden, and the Barracuda will connect all this together like Connect 4, but this is Connect 3. Now, first of all, I have said many times from the bully pulpit of Fox Sports Radio that sign stealing, when done the old-fashioned way, perfectly fine. All right, I've said that. I'm not changing my position on that. I know when I first started kind of working around baseball as a reporter that teams employed old graybeards as bench coaches for the sole purpose of spotting tendencies and stealing signs. Finding out when a pitcher is tipping his pitches, that is all fair game. That's why they call them signs. And that's a form of gamesmanship, and I've always been an advocate for gamesmanship. What the Astros have done here is they have crossed the line. This is repulsive. Major League Baseball right now is in a very dark place because of what the Astros have done. And it's not even a question of whether they're guilty or not. I've already tried the case. Guilty. I saw the video evidence. Some baseball blogger I've never heard of posted from a White Sox-Astros game a couple years back that clearly shows, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the Astros, they were caught with their pants down around their ankles. I mean, there's no question. It was a game with the White Sox. Evan Gattis was at home plate, and the Chicago catcher would signal changeup, and you would hear bang, bang from the Astros dugout, and that would tell the batter, don't swing, that's a breaking ball. And then when the Chicago catcher signaled the fastball, amazingly, no bang, bang. The bang, bang went away. Now, this allowed the hitter, obviously, to have a huge advantage to lay off the off-speed pitch and settle down, buckle up for a fastball, which is the pitch that you would like to hit. When you know a fastball is coming, you can gain your strength and you can cock the bat back and wail away. Wail away. All right? Absolutely. You can do that. And it's irrefutable video evidence that Houston is they're a terrible franchise. This is horrific. It's a crime against the baseball gods. Now, typically, I'm against vacating championships and forfeiting games. I think it's kind of dumb. However, Rob Manfred must step up to the plate and grow a spine. The integrity of baseball is at stake. The very foundation of the sport. The Astros have shown a reckless disregard for the consequences of their actions. Now, baseball, my advice here, my counsel is they've got to consider taking a page out of the NCAA playbook. I'm talking about the Mustangs. Now, it's a long forgotten story by younger generations, but the death penalty is something the NCAA has in their playbook for repeat violators. In NCAA parlance, if you repeatedly violate the rules, they wiped out Southern Methodist University, SMU, back in the 80s, before my time, of course. And they forced the Mustangs football program to cancel an entire season as well. Now, they've not done that since then. They've had opportunities to do it, but the NCAA hasn't done it. But Major League Baseball, okay, they got a strong arm. These cheating, I can't say what I want to say. Astros, they must forfeit the 2017 World Series. Hey, turns out, spoiler alert, the Dodgers did not lose the World Series. They actually won the World Series in 2017. The series was a tie at 34-34. Now, here we go. Listen closely. If the series is tied, the tie goes to the team that didn't cheat, and that's the Dodgers. They didn't cheat. And Clayton Kershaw, he's got the monkey off his back. World Series winner, 2017 champion, Clayton Kershaw. Now, I'm not willing to forgive you, Darvish, yet, but I'll consider it at a later date. I will consider forgiving you, Darvish, at a later date. I will. You realize think about some of the things that happened in the 2017 World Series. George Springer, he ought to give back his World Series MVP. He had 5 home runs. Tainted. The Astros hit 15 home runs in the 7 games. 15 in a week. A week of baseball. Bang, bang. That's how the Astros did it. Bang, bang. It's ridiculous. Now, secondly, it is going to be impossible for the Astros to wiggle out of this. The only thing they can hope for is some kind of plea deal. That's all they got to hope for. They're guilty. We have irrefutable direct evidence against the Astros. More importantly, we have a whistleblower. All right, we've got a whistleblower. Major League Baseball, this pitcher Mike Fiers, who throws a no-hitter every couple of years, he pitched for Houston for a couple of years back in the this decade and through the 2017 season. He was not part of the playoff roster. He was on the 40-man roster. He did not appear in the postseason, but he was with the team all year. And Mike Fiers is the guy that is singing like a canary. All right, he is singing like a canary. Houston is guilty. And Fiers says the Astros cheated, and the reason he's coming forward, he feels guilty that not only was he on this baseball team that cheated, but he participated in the cheating. And so Fiers, he might want to move to Russia because he's like Anthony Snowden. He's the Snowden of Major League Baseball here. He says he wants baseball cleaned up a little bit. Now, why is that? Fiers is upset. He claims that guys are losing their jobs because they're going in there, meaning Houston, not knowing. Fiers said in this story in The Athletic, and he said young guys getting hit around the first couple innings starting a game, and then they get sent down. He says it's bull manure. On that end, he said it's ruining jobs for younger guys. The guys who know are prepared, but most people don't. That's a direct quote from the great Mike Snowden Fiers. And after leaving Houston, Fiers went on to say that he had issued warnings to his teammates with the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland Athletics to keep an eye out for the dirty dogs in Houston. Now, final thought on this. In terms of the punishment that must be adjudicated, that must be handed down, I think the Astros their next championship should have to be in the Mexican League. I don't know who won the Mexican League last year, but whoever won it will put them in the major leagues, and we will send. All right, you want to go to the Pacific Coast League? I'll send them the PCL. Let's send them the Japanese League or the Korean League. I don't know. Send them anywhere, but send them out of Major League Baseball. After a thorough review, the Astros, the bare minimum, must forfeit the 2017 World Series. I expect a parade down Figueroa Boulevard in Los Angeles for the Dodgers. I'll be there. Me and Rachel and Montebello. We'll be hanging out watching that. It'll be wonderful. All right, so you forfeit the 2017 World Series. That's just the appetizer. We don't need no jellyfish as a commissioner. We need a Barracuda. We need Rob Manfred to be a Barracuda. Now, he's obviously caved into the Astros, but he was part of the problem. Manfred in the 2017 World Series, Yuli Gurriel, racist gesture in the dugout in this era where nothing is allowed. Everyone gets banished for life when you do things like that. Yuli Gurriel, he wasn't punished till the next year. Baseball's complicit. I might even put a congressional investigation against baseball. All right, but Rob Manfred needs to issue harsh sanctions here. Send a message to the other teams that this will not be tolerated. They must, the Astros, vacate also draft picks because that's the real currency of baseball. They also must pay a fine. I don't really cares about that. I don't really care about that. Hit them where it hurts, though. Those beloved draft picks, that's where it's at. So this has been going on for years, and now, according to Mike Fiers, it has cost some young players their career. The IOU has come due for Houston. The chickens have come home to roost. Whatever way you want to say it. The Astros choked away the 2017 World Series because they cheated. All right? They cheated. They had to fire their assistant GM. How about the fact that he could spill all of his information if he's upset the Astros fired him. He can say, "All right, baseball, let's talk. Let's have a cup of coffee. We'll schmooze." And he knows where all the bodies are buried. The guy that was goofing on the female reporters over domestic violence. The Astros are a broken franchise. They say, "Hey, we don't want any domestic violence guys." They then trade for a guy suspended for domestic violence. And they're a complete hot mess. All right? And it turns out that video spying, in this case, did kill the baseball franchise's reputation. All right? It did. It didn't kill the DJ. It killed the baseball team's reputation. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The Astros' demise, the very public demise of the Astros, has put a Cheshire cat smile on my face. I'm not going to lie to you. I think you can tell that. Schadenfreude is a hell of a drug. It's better than any kind of drug you could possibly have. You hate to see it. And by the way, this is going to affect the legacy of Verlander, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, George Springer. I don't know how any of these guys can go to the Hall of Fame. I don't know how any of them can go to the Hall of Fame. They're all dirty. They're all complicit in this. Ban them all. Ban them. Ban their asses.